So we're here today at Twickenham, the home of rugby. I'm delighted to be joined by Ewan Dowes, former schoolmate of mine. Ewan went on to be a professional rugby league player, Leeds Rhinos and Hull FC. I went on to be a professional rugby union player, and we both find ourselves today at St James's Place. Dowsy, good to see you. How are you?
Mate. You all right?
Oh, any memories of us back in school? We played for the first team together, didn't we?
Mate, it was a strange one, that, because I joined Sebra and I was hoping to be a back row forward, but soon got pushed into the front row, and then I think
you were extra pounds then, weren't you?
It was about 3 stone heavy, I think. And then you were the same way. You were a winger, weren't you?
I was a winger, and then kind of ate a lot of food and ballooned and got pushed, like you say, got pushed into I think I was front row and second row.
Yeah.
So I didn't have too much pace, but
Mate, there were good days, though, weren't there?
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I missed when I went to league was the cycle. We didn't really have a cycle. And you were big on that, weren't you? You were
the huddle, squeeze these
Joes.
Yeah. How on earth did you go kind of to playing professional rugby league? I mean, that must have been hard adapting to the new rules when you've been playing rugby union all your career.
It was a bit of a sliding doors moment, really. Obviously, you know, Johnny Carrick was in the same house as you at school, and Johnny said to me, you know, we had the under-19 World Cup coming up in France, and Johnny said, oh, you should go and train with the Rhinos boys, the academy team and under-21s, and, you know, keep fit through the summer. So I was like, right, yeah, let's do it. So I went and trained with him. Stuart Lancaster was actually, he scouted us and said, you know, we'll get in at uni at Leeds and get you playing with the Leeds Tykes. My first game was against Hull at the Boulevard, which it was on Sky TV. They used to show the academy games on Sky. I came on as a sub. Didn't really have much of a clue about the rules. Got
baptism of fire, was it?
Offside, deliberate offside, yellow card.
Oh, really? Good start.
Literally first 5 minutes off. So it's like, that was my first ever game of rugby league. You know, I suppose my career kicked off when I went to Hull FC. Played like over 240 games at Hull, and
high mileage.
Yeah, it's big. Yeah. So we you know, 2005 we won the Challenge Cup against my old team Leeds, which was, you know, one of the best days of my life. So that was amazing. We lost the grand final at Old Trafford, lost another Challenge Cup at Wembley.
You played England Rugby League as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Forget about that. Yeah, we were at the point where they had the England and Great Britain, and we won they had like the Federation Shield where Tonga and Samoa came over, and France, and it was. That was some interesting battles.
You've had an absolutely amazing career, mate. I'm surprised you made it as a professional, because you literally couldn't catch a ham sandwich at school. So, and then look, as all things do, a rugby career, professional sport, it comes to an end at some point. You know, I think everyone kind of thinks it'll go on forever, and you know, for myself, I was lucky to get to 35, 17 years as a pro. What age were you, Dowsy, when you retired?
Full time, I finished at Hull in 2011, so you know, 29, 30. Wasn't the plan at all. I kind of was studying a sports science degree at the time, and I was always a sensible lad and planned. And
you weren't that sensible at school, I must admit.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
You've really matured, mate. So it's great to see. We do. Yeah, indeed.
You do. So I wanted to stay in the game. I was passionate about training and coaching, and that was me. I was going to be a strength and conditioning coach, so I had it all mapped out, ready to go. You know, I've been at Hull for 9 years, and there was potentially going to be a job there, but I didn't get offered a contract after the 9th year, and it was kind of I didn't have a plan B, C, D. And there wasn't another contract on the table in Super League, so it caught me out massively. By
surprise, Was that kind of through, had you had a number of injuries, or was it form, or?
It was probably, I had a few years of poor form, I'd say. But I'd got back into a good place mentally, but then it was just a bit of a kick in the teeth when there was no deal on the table, and I had to try and think of what's next.
You know, a lot of sportsmen and women have big issues when they come out of the game, whatever sport they've played. You know, that loss of identity, loss of purpose, feeling like you're not adding value. You know, as a professional sports person, you're being told where to be, when to be there, what to wear. You're kind of in this bubble, and then all of a sudden you come out. Were you prepared for your exit? And kind of what, you know, tell us a bit about how, you know, what it felt like.
Yeah, not at all. It's quite funny, because a lot of people say, oh, you had a really good transition. You've gone from rugby to a financial advisor, and you've got your own business. Like, God, that you must have planned, but it just wasn't like that at all. You know, I know I said I kind of got left in the lurch with Hull, and it led me to, because I wanted to stay in conditioning, so I applied for an internship in the States at Athletes Performance, a big facility in Arizona, and I didn't meet the visa requirements for the educational side, so that was a bit of a kick. And then it was like, right, you know, we just got married, myself and Amy, found out Amy was pregnant. Right. Said, right, we needed to get away from it all, because you know when everything's just compounding, nothing's going right. So that's where we moved to Australia to be a coal miner.
To be a what?
A coal miner.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Why haven't you told me this before? What was your typical day?
It didn't materialise, because I had this, it was literally a 2-week training course. The club that I signed for, they said, we're going to get you a job, we'll get you a job. But it got like month after month, and it just wasn't coming. Yeah. And obviously Australia's an expensive place to live. You know, as a pro sports person, you go through, you know, you earn decent money in rugby, and I'd been used to that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, you know, it come the end of the season, November, that's your last paycheck. Yeah. And that was really daunting.
There's a lot of different emotions someone goes through when they're retiring, you know, whether it's kind of, you know, I certainly had it for the first couple of years, animosity towards a game, because you basically get spat out, and it's frustrating to look back and how quickly the team moves on and is successful. Probably took me 2 or 3 years to get to that point of acceptance and moving on and be thankful for what you had.
I'm one of those people that you can't sit back and dwell on it and sit in your own self-pity. I'm a big believer in, you know, harder work, the luckier you get, so I just kept cracking on.
You know, when I finished in 2017, 18, I went into a job and completely out of my depth, and it's that kind of imposter syndrome. Yeah. You know, you've been on a field for 17 years, you know, playing, grafting, having the crack with the lads. All of a sudden, it's like walking the plank, and it's cut completely. You get chucked out of the WhatsApp group, and you know, you're done.
When I came back from Oz, started as an insurance salesperson with MetLife, big American firms for selling life and critical illness insurance. I always remember sitting down with a guy, and he was like, I can't believe this. I used to watch you on TV, and now you're selling me an insurance policy. Yeah. And that was just like proper kick. Yeah, you just think, you know, you think, and you look back on what you were, and I still hadn't accepted it then, so I still needed to find something that gave me that sense of purpose and drive to succeed.
In terms of those transferable skills from professional sport to life after sport, it is that resilience is massive, isn't it? That drive, that hunger.
Resilience is the perfect word, I think, for a rugby player, because you're conditioned to be resilient. You know, you go on the pitch every day and training and playing in front of tens of thousands of people, and you know, you go through injuries, you go through dips in form, so you're naturally resilient by the end of your career. So those transferable skills were, you know, looking back now, were massive. You know, hugely driven, goal orientated, motivated to make it happen and run your own business. That was a big thing for me.
There's a huge misconception out there that to be a financial advisor in the first place, you know, you've got to be a wizard at maths, you've got to go to private school, university, you've got to come from a financial services background. I mean, obviously they're all things that will help you, but it's not a prerequisite to being a good financial advisor, is it?
The simple things, you know, you've got to build a relationship with a client. Yeah. It's all about trust. You've got to know how to extract as much information as you can in order to build a strategy, a plan. It's just being good with people, you know, building relationships, because it's not a quick fix. You're going to be with that client for 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years.
So how do you go to become a financial advisor? What was the spark for it?
I think with the insurance sales role, it was a point where this isn't sustainable. I can't do this forever. It was funny, actually. It was my wife's mother-in-law. She said, "Oh, I know an SJP partner who's helped with my mortgage and everything else. You should go and have a chat with him." And I was like, "Nah, you're all right.
Not for me."
Yeah, not for me. But then I just thought, something just said, "Oh, I'll go and have a chat with him, talk about my stuff and everything else." And we just started talking about the academy, and I was like, he talked me through it, and I thought, I could see myself doing that. So I just made it was that decision, I'm going to jump head first again.
As someone with no financial services background whatsoever, how did you manage that? How did you find the academy? How were you supported and helped to become and to go on and set up this, you know, business that you now run?
Well, I suppose looking back, it was mapped out for you, so you had some clarity and vision of, right, I'm starting on day one. Yeah. This is what it's going to be for the first 6 months. And then, you know, you can start building your business. I consider myself quite lucky. I got a really good mentor who came in and she took me under her wing for a good 3 years actually.
3 years,
which was great. She allowed me to come in and, you know, observe a lot of her meetings, and I think that was the biggest thing, seeing someone in action.
Yeah.
That's where you learn your most. Looking how it's developed over the last 8, 9, 10 years is incredible. I think someone coming in now, there's the flexibility of maybe going in with a more senior partner and learning the ropes.
Maybe you could touch on, what is a job like? What is your day to day? What's your week like? What's your day like?
I think a good thing about being a financial advisor is no day is the same.
Yeah.
There's so much variety. You know, you think all the clients that I've got, you know, from youngsters who are just starting out in the financial journey to my oldest client's 100 this year.
Wow, really?
You know, she's an incredible woman. She built Lancaster Bombers when she was, you know, an 18-year-old. The earnings potential's huge.
Yeah.
You know, there's no ceiling. You know, it is literally, you know, if you put in the work, you'll earn significant sums, which is great.
Yeah.
I think that the flexibility of the role, you know, running your own business. I've got two young children. You know, being able to do the school runs, pick them up from school, go and watch them at school, play sport. I think ultimately you're in charge of your own destiny. As a pro rugby player, that's where you want to be, and that's where you can transfer that into your next chapter, isn't it?
Yeah. What advice would you give to someone who's still playing professional sport in terms of kind of what they should be doing in terms of their preparation for life after sport?
If I had my time again, I'd have just planned a lot better. I always say to the younger kids, if you're not playing or you're injured, you get lumbered with the corporate stuff on a weekend, and you have to go and meet all the sponsors, and everyone hated it. They just didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I think I always say now, if you've got that opportunity, I'd go to the CEO or the owner of the club and say, right, who's involved with the club?
Yeah.
You know, who sponsors this club? What businesses are involved? And pick up the phone to them and say, listen, I'm interested in what you do as a business. Can I come and spend half a day with you? You know, something like that. And just you're soon forgotten, aren't you, as a rugby player? You know, you've got that short window of opportunity to maximise it and make the most of it. And I think, you know, getting out and seeing more and more businesses and what they're all about, just do it.
Yeah. It's as much finding out what you don't want to do as much as what you do want to do whilst you're playing.
Yeah,
and you get a lot of time off when you, especially in professional rugby, downtime to recover, rest, recuperate, and you've got to be doing things outside of the game, haven't you? And a career as a financial advisor, potential option for anyone in sport, and gives you that opportunity to springboard your career, whether it's setting up your own business or going to work for an existing practice.
This is probably one of the only jobs out there that gives you that opportunity to go into a job that flexibility, career-wise, development, you take it where you want to take it. I don't think there is another job out there.
Yeah. You're loving life, Dowsy, aren't you? You're loving life.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mate, it's been absolutely brilliant to catch up.
See you, mate.